kind of appropriate and apt that people are calling the Poison Control Center complaining or trying to get help for these drugs they're taking because, God forbid, diet couldn't possibly be the answer. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Today, I feel the need for a little rant. A good rant makes me feel great. One of the things I have to put up with today is the construction noise outside my house, and I can't let that get in the way of this rant, so we're just going to have to put up with it. I apologize. What set me off this morning, and I'm going to cook my breakfast while I talk about this. What set me off this morning is I punish myself every morning by watching maybe a half an hour of the local morning news. So this morning there was a news story about the fact that semaglutide, which is Ozempic, Wegovy, and all of these weight loss drugs, which are so popular, have had thousands of calls to the National Poison Control Center.
Good morning, Danielle. You know, these have become phenomenally popular, and the most common symptoms that you typically see in general with taking these drugs are nausea and vomiting. And so, the idea being that if you're going to take too much of those, you may be really amplifying those very unfortunate, uncomfortable experiences, if you do that.
Well, what can people do if they think they may have injected too much medication? Of course, you've got the directions that say only inject this much, but maybe people feel like if I inject more, I'll get more of an impact from it, right? But if they inject too much, what can they do?
Well, so a couple of things may be going on. Sometimes this, and primarily this affects the compounded version of semaglutide. So that is where people are actually drawing it up into a syringe themselves and trying to measure it themselves. It's not the injectable pens where we seem to be seeing the most mistakes. I did talk to an obesity doctor who said, yes, some of my patients are, sort of thinking more is better, so why not go a little bit higher and see if they get better effect. They also get in trouble. So you may see signs like, severe nausea and vomiting, abdominal pain, dizziness and headache. You may have shaking. And the problem is that these injectables are designed to last for a week, Danielle. So you inject yourself, say, on a Saturday, and if you give yourself too much, you may be looking at 7 days of feeling pretty miserable. So typically, if you've taken too much of the medication and you think you may be in trouble, I think it's important to call your doctor, find out what you might need. You might need nausea medication, you might need to step up the fluids, you might need just to ride it out. If you're having really severe symptoms of pain, you may need to go to the emergency department and get some assistance with this. But as you mentioned, 3,000 calls to poison control centers last year across the US. This is becoming, it's rare, I think, but it's still becoming an issue.
That's right. Well, the bottom line is follow the directions, as indicated. Beth Galvin, really good information. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Danielle.
It's my pleasure.
You too.
If it was anything else other than something that was so profitable, there'd be calls for the government and the FDA and everybody to ban this stuff. But no, we want to believe. We want to believe that there's a quick fix, and we tend to want to ignore the realities of what these things can do, of the damage that can be caused by trying to second guess nature and the programming that we have to keep us healthy. If you watch that news story, it's full of holes. It's ridiculous. And then I went to the manufacturer's own website and printed out the list of dangers and warnings and side effects of these drugs. I'll put a link to that page in the description of this video, and I want you to go look at it. And the thing that's most frustrating to me, the thing that drives me crazy, is I had that problem. I had the weight problem all my life. I've discovered the simplest, easiest answer, the most pleasurable answer, which happens to be the carnivore diet. And yet, we're told every day how bad this is for us, how it's going to cause cancer, how it's going to elevate our cholesterol. And then they fall back on that cholesterol causes all these problems, which we're finding out is another bunch of BS. They know it's BS. And then to make matters worse, this morning another news story came out, which on its face sounds like great news. They said they're expecting beef prices to come down. I said, yeah, but why are the beef prices coming down? It seems there's a surplus of soy meal, and since that's what they're feeding the cows, the price of meat's going to come down. But why can't we just get good news that's actually good news? And good news would be if the mainstream media, who gets so much of their revenue from advertising dollars from not only the food companies that manufacture the garbage they want us to eat, but the drug companies who sell us that magic pill that all of the gullible, I want a quick fix, I want instant gratification public buys into every day because it's what they want to believe. Excuse me while I beat my eggs. Thank you. My message to you, if you're new, just started the carnivore, I'll call it a diet, but I hate that word diet. If you've just started and you're struggling, it's worth it. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle for the first 30 days. Tough through it. Think about these things that I say. Think about whether you want to just fall prey again to the weaknesses that they know you have and they exploit with all their commercials, with all their propaganda, and with all the products that they want to sell you so that you don't have to tough it out for a few days. Listen to the people that have succeeded. Listen to the miraculous changes that have happened to them, instead of listening to the snake oil salesman with the bad advice and the poisonous products, but with what seem to be the easy solutions. My breakfast is almost ready. 6 eggs, 5 strips of bacon, according to the so-called smart people, heart attack food. Meanwhile, I'm 76 years old. I'm in the best shape of my life. I've been eating nothing but this stuff for a year and a half now. I don't know how else to tell you. Reality is reality. We can't decide what's real. We can't make what we want to be real, real. Reality just is. And the reality of this is the food we're supposed to eat. If you've started this, stick to it. If you haven't started, give it a try. If you can't do it, like most people, then you have to start learning about addiction and why you don't have the power to overcome the urges you're getting from your subconscious to feed that addiction, and that's another thing. Anyway, it's enough of a rant for this morning. I hope that wasn't too convoluted. Think about what I said. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.